Tadiya tulasi Vaishnav Mathura Bhagavad Etarira Seva Hai Krishna Abhimat. Translation. Tadiya means the Tulasi leaves, the devotees of Krishna, the birthplace of Krishna, Mathura, and the Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna is very eager to see his devotees serve Tulasi, Vaishnavas, Mathura, and Bhagavatam. Om Jnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swaminiti Namine. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine. Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Padayane Gora Gatha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramatarine. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Natya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shavasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. These verses that we are reading is in continuation to the description of Lord Chaitanya talking about the pure aspects of devotional service. Mahaprabhu is giving to Sri Sanatana Goswami about the practical devotional service. He describes about what is regulative devotional service, what is spontaneous devotional service. And then Mahaprabhu goes on to explain what are the tenets of practical devotional service. So the practical devotional service we have covered till 22, and in text 124 Mahaprabhu is covering from 23 to 30, which is attending arti and festivals. 24 is seeing the deity. 25 is presenting what is very dear to oneself to the deity. 26 is meditating on the deity. And 27 to 30 is serving those related to the Lord. So this 27 to 30 is given in text 125. What is 27, 28, 29, and 30? There are 4 things, which is serving, the tadiya. Tadiya means that those related to the Lord. So what is tadiya? Tadiya exactly means something that is related to Krishna, related directly to the Lord. So what is the 4 things that is directly related to Krishna? That is Tulasi, Vaishnavas, Mathura, and Srimad Bhagavatam. So these are the 4 things that are directly related to Krishna. So in this 2 verses, Mahaprabhu is covering from 23 to number 30 of the aspects of devotional service. The underlying principle here, as we can all see, is basically how we can revive our lost relationship with Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, when he's talking with Sanatana Goswami in all of the teachings, there is an underlying principle that Mahaprabhu is always giving. He is saying that how we need to revive our, forgotten, our lost Krishna consciousness. It's not about awakening it for the first time, but it is always about reawakening it. It is there within each and every one of us. Oh, it's just that we have forgotten. It's just buried so deep and dark inside that we have literally lost even its, mere glimpse of it. This always reminds me, in Mayapur, every day in the mornings, His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Purna Maharaj, along with the Gurukul boys, Maharaj would do yajna. Every single day, Maharaj does yajna. It actually near the Lotus Park.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I think I don't know if it's just me, but I got cut off, or went blank. Was that just for me, or did everybody else have that?
I think we all got it.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, sound is cutting in the breaking. Mataji, your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
The last thing we heard was you said that Bhakti Purna Vijnananda Maharaj was doing homam with the Gurukuli boys, and then it cut.
Okay. All right, so I'll continue from there. Thank you so much, Mataji. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Purna Maharaj, back from 1996 till about the year 2001, Bhaktivedanta Purna Maharaj, along with the Gurukul boys, they would do yajna in directly opposite to the temple of Radha Madhava, and in the Lotus Park, which is now the construction site for the TOVP. So there used to be one very beautiful yajna-shala, and so devotees, some devotees would go there when Maharaj would personally perform the yajna. Every single day Maharaj would do the yajna. And I remember, because we used to go to see the yajna, and he would actually, they would never, use a lamp or fire or anything to light the fire, sacrifice. It would be so wonderful to see it, but they would actually just blow into the yajna kunda, the previous day's yajna kunda. They would actually, we all used to think that, maybe this is really like how the Satya Yoga, they invoke through just mantras, the chanting of mantras. So Maharaj was, laughing, and when we were talking to him one day, Maharaj just revealed to us that actually the fire is never extinguished. After they finished the yajna, they never extinguished the fire, never put out the fire, but they would just cover the fire with ashes. And when they would cover the fire with ashes, the next day in the morning when they would blow, the ashes would go away, and the little kindling of the fire that would be there, that would light up with some ghee being poured, some extra firewood being added. Then the fire would catch on immediately, because there would be sparks of fire still in the yajna kunda. So Maharaj, we saw it with our own eyes, how when it is covered with ashes, the fire doesn't even look like there is any fire burning. But as soon as, the ashes are removed, just like in that yajna shala, in the yajna kunda, there is the presence of the fire that is covered in the ashes. So similarly, for all of us, the love of God, pure love of God, is always covered up in each and every one of our hearts. It is not yet in the kindling stage also, but it is all covered up with all of our anarthas. It is covered up with so many of our negative emotions. It is covered up. Pure love of God is covered in our hearts. But when, we chant the holy names, when we associate with devotees, it is like blowing away the ashes that are collected on the pure love of God. And then the fire starts coming up. we can start seeing the fire. As soon as the ashes are gone, then we add in some more ghee, we add in some more fresh firewood, and the flames will be like yagya kunda. It will burn away all our negativities. Is it better now? Can you hear me properly now?
Yes, Mataji, it's very good.
Okay, thank you. So that is the kind of, thing that these processes of devotional service, it is meant to revive our lost Krishna consciousness. It is meant to rekindle, it is meant to revive our forgotten Krishna consciousness. So these are the processes with which we can reawaken our pure love of God. So attending Aarti and festivals, that is the first part that today we are reading, the 23rd part of the devotional service. Attending Aarti and festivals, when we attend Aartis, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when we attend different festivals, what is supposed to be our mood when we are attending Aartis? When we are in the audience of the Lord, when we are in the presence of the Lord, when the Lord is getting an Aarti done, we should consider ourselves so fortunate that the Lord is allowing us to stand in front of Him while Aarti is getting done. It's something very, very special, very unique. It's not an ordinary thing that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is getting Aarti. This one, even the Devatas, actually, they don't get to see the Lord, getting Aarti done. That is why Srila Prabhupada said that whenever there is Aarti going on, the Devatas, they actually come onto the walls of the temple room whenever there is Aarti being done. So we should understand that it is not something ordinary for us to be able to witness the Aarti of the Lord. Attendance to any festivals, how like how we attend Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima, Nrsimha Chaturdashi, Ram Navami, Radhashtami, all these special appearance days, disappearance day of our acharyas, such joyous festivities. It's not just, when we ask any child in India, why do you like festivals? Sometimes kids, out of their innocence, they will just say, because we get to eat so many wonderful things. Mommies, they make such wonderful preparations on festival days. So that is a great motivation for children. So for them, festival means variety of food stuff. Some, for some, festivals can be, like lights and crackers. For some, festivals could mean the culmination of, relatives coming together. That could be the meaning of festivals. But what in actual sense is the purpose of celebrating festivals? It is explained by Srila Prabhupada that the day of the festival is non-different from the personality whose festival we are celebrating. So if we are celebrating Sri Radhashtami, so that day becomes the personification of Srimati Radharani. That we are actually celebrating the most transcendental divine appearance of Srimati Radharani. So to be in that mood, to be able to get into that mood, to be able to participate in a festival in that mood, in that spirit, definitely needs for us to be knowledgeable about that festival. We need to be, knowing about the importance of each of the festivals that come within our celebrations. The next item that it is told here is seeing the deity. Even having darshan of the deity is something which is an aspect of devotional service. We have discussed this many times before, that how are we supposed to take darshan of the deities? The deities, they are standing in front of us to give us their darshan. So it's not just we are seeing them, but they are also seeing us. So to be able to be present for us to be presentable also in front of the deity is a very important factor. We can't be shabbily dressed in front of the deity. When we are having a meeting with the principal of the school, or when we go to meet any kind of a minister, what to speak of the president, then we make sure that we are very properly dressed, properly in proper etiquette. We are dressed. Similarly, when we are coming in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we must also ensure that we are properly dressed. We are also properly dressed. And then when we take darshan of the deities, the darshan of the deities, as we all know, should start from the lotus feet of the deities. We should try to see the beautiful tulasi leaves that are dipped in chandan that decorate the lotus feet of the deity. What kind of toe rings is Krishna wearing? What kind of ankle bells is Krishna wearing? Then slowly we lift our eyes towards the calf muscles of Krishna. We see the beauty of Krishna's knees. We see the beauty of Krishna's dhoti, the beautiful form of Krishna's waist, which can put to shame even a lion. How slender, how slim Krishna's waist looks. The red navel that is right above his waist. Krishna's Tribhanga form, his waist coming out on the left side. How beautifully is that waist of Krishna decorated. Then Krishna's broad shoulders, his broad chest. How, it's like the entire planetary systems can be engulfed in the broad chest of Krishna. Krishna's strong arms, his beautiful arms being decorated by, armlets and bracelets, rings in his, fingers. The flute that Krishna is holding, what is the color of the flute? What is the color of his dhoti that particular day? What are the kind of jewels that Krishna is wearing on his neck? And then slowly we lift our eyes towards the earrings of Krishna. We see Krishna's Makara Kundalas. Then we lift our eyes towards the lotus lips of Krishna. Adharam Madhuram. We see how reddish, like the bimba fruit, is Krishna's lips. And then we see the beautiful, cheeks of Krishna. And then we see Krishna's lotus eyes, Krishna's tilaka adorning his forehead, Krishna's hair, which is like soft black cotton, clouds that are spread over Krishna's moon-like face, and then the peacock feather that adorns Krishna's beautiful turban that he's wearing on his head. So like this is the way that we should take darshan of the deities. Trying to envision and trying to, drink the beauty of Krishna's, each and every part of the limb of Krishna's body, and try to see from the lotus feet upwards. Generally when we look at the deities, it is very tempting for us to look at directly at the lotus face of Krishna. But out of etiquette, because we are doing Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, we are doing regulated sadhana bhakti. We are not in the platform of Raganuga sadhana bhakti. We are not in that platform at all. So when we are doing Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, at that time it's very, very important for us to follow the rules and regulations. So even though we may be tempted to look up to the lotus face of Krishna, but we should control ourselves and follow the etiquette of taking darshan from the lotus feet upwards. Number 25, Mahaprabhu explains, is present what is very dear to oneself to the deity. This one is a very, very practical aspect of devotional service that Srila Prabhupada very beautifully explained to us. Whatever, sometimes devotees ask this question, well, if I offer to the deity whatever I like, then isn't that just personal sense gratification? Well, that is definitely a starting point, no? So it's not just sense gratification, because we know that whatever we first eat, whatever we first want for ourselves, if we can first offer it to the deity, then that becomes prasad. That becomes purified. So although it may be something that we personally like, it is still a process of purification, and which is recommended by Mahaprabhu himself, that something that is dear to us, we first offer it to the deity. For example, nowadays persimmon fruits are in season, so we say, okay, I love persimmon fruits, but still I will offer first to the deity. The first one is for Krishna, and then I will accept the Mahaprasad. So that is, doing what is dear to oneself. What is dear to us, we are first offering it to Krishna and then accepting for ourselves. So we need to understand that it is not just a mere sense gratification if we are offering what we like to the deity. The goal is definitely that, yes, we should offer what Krishna likes, and we should offer that. But we are not on that level. We are not at that level for sure to understand also what Krishna likes. So therefore, whatever we have at our possession, whatever we have, so we just offer all that to the deity first, and then we accept it. We should meditate on the deity. When we take darshan, I have seen this as a practical experience, that if we can take darshan of the deities, that is by the recommended process, like if we look from the lotus feet upwards, then if we can meditate on each and every limb of Krishna in this way, it is very easy for us to remember the darshan of the deity throughout the day within our minds. It's very easy to meditate upon the deity if we follow that proper procedure. So, in this, from 23 to 26, we see that most of the things are in relation to the deity. So I would like to tell a very, very sweet pastime in relation to the deity. Sambandha, establishing a relationship with the deity. Then comes Abhideya, then comes Prayojana. So Sambandha, our Sambandha deity, is Madan Mohan, who is the worshipable deity of Sanatana Goswami. So I thought it would be very apt for us to just meditate on Madan Mohan deity. So this Madan Mohan deity is a very, very old deity. Even before Srila Sanatana Goswami started worshipping him, he was actually worshipped. Very first time Madan Mohan was worshipped was by Lord Ramachandra himself. Lord Ramachandra in Treta Yuga used to worship Madan Mohan. And Madan Mohan, he used to be worshipped by Lord Raghavendra himself, and, he would, every day, he would be worshipped by Lord Ramachandra very, very ardently. And when Shatrughna, Lord Ramachandra's youngest brother, when he was, he came to Mathura to defeat the demon, and when he got defeated, and then, Shatrughna had to become the king of Mathura, and Lord Ramachandra told Shatrughna, this was after, Lord Ram came back to Ayodhya after killing Ravana and all of that was over. Then when Shatrughna killed this demon, and then Lord Ram said that, now, my dear brother, you have, saved the people of Mathura, so therefore you should go to Mathura and rule over Mathura. You should become the king of Mathura. So then Shatrughna said that, my dear Lord Ram, how can I go to Mathura? I have taken a vow that the first thing that I will do as soon as I wake up in the morning, before seeing anybody else, I am actually going to see your lotus face. So that is my vow. And I have taken this vow since you have come back from Ayodhya, from, your Vanvas. When you came back, I have taken this vow that I don't do anything, or I don't see anyone, before seeing you. So how can I go to Mathura? Because you will be here in Ayodhya. I cannot go. So then Lord Ramachandra smiled and he said, okay, my dear brother, you take this deity of Madan Mohan. You take him and you take him with you to Mathura and you start worshipping him. So when you start worshipping him there, if when you see him every day in the morning, if he is the first one you see, it will be as good as seeing me. So Shatrughna was very happy, but still sad that he had to leave Lord Ram. But he nonetheless came to Mathura and he started worshipping Madan Mohan in Mathura. So when he started worshipping, Madan Mohan in Mathura, it continued for, his generation. Then after he left, somehow Madan Mohan was passed on to one of the other kingdoms where there was one very beautiful princess of that particular kingdom who was very attached to the service of Madan Mohan. And she got so attached to Madan Mohan that at the time of her wedding, she wanted to take Madan Mohan with her as a dowry, with her to the kingdom that she was getting married to. And her father, the king, refused to oblige. The father said that Madan Mohan has been in our family for so many years now, and he cannot go with you. And this princess, she was so attached to Madan Mohan that the previous night of the wedding, she was crying so much that she did not know what to do. And then her father said, okay, what I will do for you is that I will make 7 identical deities like Madan Mohan. And if you are saying that you are so attached to Madan Mohan, you can choose which is your Madan Mohan, the original one. And if you choose him right, then you can take him. So then this girl was more tense. The princess was more tense that how am I going to recognize Madan Mohan? My father will make 7 identical deities. Just like, he will make 6 more deities like original Madan Mohan and make them stand next to each other. How am I going to recognize who is the original Madan Mohan? So she was crying like this the previous night. She was crying so much. And then the deity Madan Mohan came to her in a dream. And he said to her that, my dear princess, I also want to go with you. I don't want to stay here because I am staying here because I got attached to you. I love seeing you, your devotion. So I am ready to come with you. So then this girl said, but Madan Mohan, how am I going to recognize you? So then Madan Mohan said that when all of us will be standing in a line, all 7 of us, the original me will shake my head. I'll just give a little nod and, you'll see that. When you see the little nod, then you will know that I am the original one. And when the peacock feather will fall, you will know that I'm the original one. So this princess was very happy. And then she went, the next day morning, she was dressed up for her wedding. And her father brought, 7 deities of Madan Mohan and made them all stand in a line. And this girl, nobody could say which is the original Madan Mohan, because the father, the king, made all of them look the same. All of them looked exactly the same, and all of them were standing in a line next to each other. And the princess, she was confident in the words of Madan Mohan, and she looked at each and every one of them. And as soon as she looked at the original Madan Mohan just shook his head and his peacock feathers fell, and she kept her hand on Madan Mohan and said, this is my Madan Mohan and I'm taking him with me. So how beautifully Madan Mohan reciprocated with the love of his dear devotee. So this princess actually took Madan Mohan with her and, worshipped him for quite some time. And then a few years after that, there is no history of where Madan Mohan actually went. But then he reappeared again. He reappeared again in Mathura, and this time he came to the house of a Brahmana in Mathura. And he started staying in the house of this Brahmana as a family member, you know. So I've said this pastime many times before, but I personally love it so much, so I hope you all don't mind listening to it again. But Sanatan Goswami, we all know that he was a Tridandi Bhikshu. He would go around, begging for Madhukari from, not only from one home to the other, but he would sometimes go out from Vrindavan also. He would come to Mathura, he would go to Govardhan, he would go to Barshana, he would go to different cities, little towns around Vrindavan also, within the 84 course of Brajamandala. And one day, he came to this house of this Brahmana. The Brahmana's name was Chaubeji. And this Brahmana, he had a little son, and Madan Mohan was also there. And, Madan Mohan was standing as a deity in Chaubeji's house. And Sanatan, as soon as he saw Madan Mohan, he got very, very attracted to the deity of Madan Mohan. And he took Madhukari from Chaubeji, but once a week, Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad, he would come back again and again to the house of Chaubeji to beg for Madhukari, because he got so attached to the deity of Madan Mohan. This Madan Mohan deity was so beautiful, so lovable, that he could attract the mind of anybody. So Sanatan Goswami, being so captivated by Madan Mohan, would come once a week to Mathura, to Chaubeji's house, and he would, take darshan of Madan Mohan. And Chaubeji and Sanatan Goswami became very fast friends, and they would discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, in this way, like how we are seeing that the 27 to 30 is serving the, tadiyas of Krishna. Tadiyas are 4 in number, which is the Tulasi Maharani, serving the Vaishnavas, living in Mathura, and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So these are the 4 tadiyas. And so Sanatan Goswami Pad, of course, he was always, worshipping Tulsi Maharani. He was always serving the Vaishnavas. And he would live around Mathura, and he would always study Srimad Bhagavatam in Chaubeji's house along with Chaubeji, So they had become very fast friends. So one day, when they were reading Srimad Bhagavatam, suddenly Sanatan Goswami was shocked. The reason he was shocked was that he started seeing that Madan Mohan, just like a young boy, he was playing with Chaubeji's little son in the courtyard of Chaubeji's home. Madan Mohan, the deity, was playing around with Chaubeji's son. And he was running behind Chaubeji's son and saying, "Hey, give me that laddu, give me that laddu, I want that laddu." And he was running behind Chaubeji's son. And Sanatan Goswami thought, "Oh, am I dreaming? Am I hallucinating? What is happening?" He couldn't believe what he was seeing. And then slowly, after some time, he saw that Chaubeji's son came crying to Chaubeji and said, "Baba, Baba, see what this Madan Mohan, he is not leaving me. He is wanting my laddu. Do something to help me." So Chaubeji said, "Are Madan Mohan, come here." And then he called Madan Mohan. Madan Mohan came. And then Chaubeji made the laddu into 2 parts. He said, "Madan Mohan, this is for you. And Lala, this is for you." So, to both his Lalas, he gave one, half piece of the laddu. And then they said, "Don't fight like this, go and play nicely." So Sanatan Goswami was shocked. What is happening? Madan Mohan, he is staying like a family member in Chaubeji's house. He is walking, talking, playing, dancing, fighting, doing all of this like a family member. So Sanatana Goswami became very, very attached, more attached, and he would come more often to the home of Chaubiji. One day, when Sanatana came to visit, Chaubiji was very sad. So Sanatana said, "My dear Chaubiji, what happened to you? Why are you so sad?" He said, "Arey, my Lala, he is, zid pakad ke baitha hai." Zid means he is becoming very stubborn. He has become very stubborn because he wants one thing, which I am not able to give him. So then Sanatana Goswami said, "Well, your son, what is he asking for?" He said, No, I'm not talking about this son of mine. I'm talking about Madan Mohan, that Lala of mine. He is asking." So then Sanatana said, "What is he asking for?" He said, "Chaubiji is saying that Madan Mohan is crying and telling me that he has become very attached to you, my dear Sanatana. And he wants to go with you. He doesn't want to stay with me. And I'm trying to convince him that, you are a, Babaji. You don't even have one place to stay. You go around begging from door to door. How will you feed this Madan Mohan? But he is not understanding. He is crying that he wants to go with you." So then Sanatana said, No, don't worry. Let me talk to Madan Mohan. And then Sanatana came to Madan Mohan, and Madan Mohan was crying that, "Please, Baba, take me with you. Even if you're not able to, give me anything, whatever you are eating, I will eat that only. I will not do any kind of, I'll not throw any tantrums. I will not say I'll, this or that. You please take me with you. I just want to be with you." Then Sanatana said, "Well, I will not be able to give you any makhan mishri. I will not be able to give you any Rajbhog offering. Whatever I eat, you will eat?" So then Madan Mohan said, Yes, I will eat whatever you will eat." So then Sanatana said, "But you remember your promise. If you ask me anything, then I will not have anything to give you." So then Madan Mohan said, No, I will not ask anything. I promise. You just take me with you." So then Madan Mohan, he then caught Sanatana's hand, Sanatana Goswami Pad's hand, and Sanatana Goswami Pad walked with Madan Mohan from Mathura to Vrindavan. He came to Vrindavan. And when he came to Vrindavan, Sanatana Goswami, with his Madhukari, he would do Madhukari every day. So he would get some atta, some whole wheat, like chapati flour, and with the Yamuna water, he would just make a little dough, and he would make some balls, and he would just throw them into the fire, and it would cook in the fire, and that burnt, little, almost like, burnt charcoals, he would eat that. Sanatana would eat that. And that is very famously called as anakoli. So Sanatana Goswami would eat that, and before eating that, he would offer it to Madan Mohan. And Madan Mohan, like a very, very, cultured boy, very obedient boy, he would just extend his right hand to Sanatana, and Sanatana would put one anakoli in his hand, and Madan Mohan would eat. Very good boy, no tantrums he would throw. And after some time, every day Madan Mohan was eating this anakoli, burnt, maida balls, atta balls, he was eating that. And so one day, after a long time, Madan Mohan told Sanatana, "My dear Sanatana, you've been giving me anakoli. I'm not complaining, but at least add a little bit of salt, in it. It's just atta and water. There's nothing else. Just add little bit of salt so some taste will come." And Sanatana said, See, I had told you that today you're asking for salt, tomorrow you'll ask for ghee, day after tomorrow you'll ask for Rajbhog. I can't do all that. Come, I'll take you to Chaubiji. Let's go back. So then Sanatana said, Madan Mohan said, no. Okay, I won't ask for salt also. Don't worry. I'm happy with whatever you're giving me. So then after a couple of days, a big merchant came by, and he brought sacks and sacks of salt. And he said that there was a huge storm, and seeing that storm, I'm a salt merchant, and seeing that storm, I prayed to the Lord that if my salt gets protected, then I will come and offer So then, I'm just coming and offering this, and he gave this, bags and bags of salt to Sanatana Goswami. So like this, Sanatana Goswami then started giving some, some offering like this, and then he, the king of course came and constructed the beautiful temple. So this is the Madan Mohan deity, how he established Sambandha. He is the Sambandha Acharya. Sanatana Goswami is the Sambandha Acharya to establish our relationship. The initial establishment of relationship with Krishna is the Sambandha Acharya is Sanatana Goswami, and the Sambandha Vigraha, the Sambandha deity, is Madan Mohan. So if you go to Vrindavan even today, when we go to Vrindavan, you can see in the temple of Madan Mohan, there's a very beautiful painting that Sanatana is sitting under a tree. He is making his anakoli, and Madan Mohan is standing next to Sanatana, and he's extending his right hand, and Sanatana is putting one anakoli in Madan Mohan's hand. Very beautiful painting is there. And till today, when we go to Sanatana Goswami Pad's Samadhi Mandir and Bhajan Kutir, over there the Mahaprasad that we can get is this same anakoli, So very, very special, very, very beautiful way of, these are the pastimes that we should try to meditate upon, when we meditate upon the deity. And when we see the deity, when we meditate on the deity, these are aspects of devotional service. Of course, later on in the verses, Srila Prabhupada, in the purport, actually, he is explaining one very essential point. He is saying that, of course, when, residing in Mathura is one of the tadiyas, but actually in text 132, Srila Prabhupada is writing that one who understands that Navadvip is non-different than Vrindavan, and he always resides in Vrindavan. Similarly, living in Jagannath Puri is as good as living in Vrindavan. So the conclusion is that Navadvip Dham, Jagannath Puri Dham, and Vrindavan Dham are identical. So we should never ever think that when it is mentioned here living in Mathura, that it just means Mathura only. It's about the, all the holy dhams, like Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, Mayapur, Navadvip. It is as good as the same, Mathura. So they are identical. So, and as His Grace Jananivas Prabhu always says, that a holy dham is not just restricted to the geographical location that it is situated in, but it is actually a state of consciousness. So if we can always remain in the consciousness of the holy dham, that place transforms into the holy dham. And that is why Srila Prabhupada, it is always said about Srila Prabhupada that Prabhupada carried Vrindavan in his heart. So Srila Prabhupada never actually stayed in any other place other than Vrindavan, So because Srila Prabhupada carried Vrindavan in his heart. So this is something that we should meditate upon. So we'll end here. If there's any questions, comments, or reflections, we can take that now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kalasudha Mataji. It was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful session. So wonderful. Thank you so much. It was so nice to hear, and it was so beautiful. I felt so good. Thank you so much for your very valuable association and the beautiful narrations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very grateful to you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Amazing class, Mataji. Amazing. Beautiful. I just felt that I could actually see the whole thing. Thank you, Mataji.
Well, Sukeshwari Mataji, this is the purity of your hearing. It's got nothing to do with me. So thank you very much. And I also wanted to say that I know you called me yesterday, but I've been a little sick. So I'm so sorry to miss your call. But we'll definitely talk sometime.
Call me any other time, no problem. Please take care. I could hear the voice. you're not keeping well. Yeah. In spite of that, you just try and inspire all of us. Thank you, Mataji.
No, thank you. Thank you. Same with Kaneshwari Mataji. I apologize for not being able to take your call yesterday. Sorry about that.
That's okay, no worries. I wanted to say thank you so much. I felt a little bit bad that I kept telling you I can't hear you, you're cutting off, but now I'm glad I did.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, very, very beautiful class Mataji. Yesterday morning when I hear your voice audio, it was very low and it was very, 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 very bad voice you had because of cold and cough. But now in the class time, I don't even feel any voice like that, Mataji. Very sweet, the pastel you are narrating. I feel like I am there, Mataji. Wow, very nice, Mataji. Very, very nice. I don't know within 1 hour, how come the voice became so nice, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Well, I think it's the transcendental pastime, that when we speak about the transcendental pastime, somehow, everything works out magically. That is the proof that we're talking about transcendental subject matter.
Jai Mataji. So sweet, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Kalasudha Mataji, for such a beautiful class, such a beautiful narration of such a beautiful pastime. Thank you so much. And of course, just want to wish you that just get better soon. And thank you for your association.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for Nectarian class. I really relish this class so much. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dhammat Pranam. Mauglats Srila Prabhupada. Mataji, I don't know, I missed a little part of the class, if you have explained this earlier. But I was just reading about the Madan Mohan deity. Is it that, sorry if I'm wrong, please correct me, like the grandson of Lord Krishna, he made 16 idols, right? And among them one was the Madan Mohan deity, right? Is it like that?
Yes, Madan Mohan also was made like that. This question was asked to Srila Radharaman Maharaj also, that, when I heard this entire, history of Madan Mohan that I just narrated today, all of this I had heard during our Brajamandal Parikrama from Srila Radharaman Maharaj. And this question I asked Maharaj personally, that, so Maharaj Bajranatha actually had carved, Madan Mohan. So if he was carved, then, what is, with this pastime and how is that pastime connected? And Maharaj just responded by saying that with Krishna anything is possible. And he said that, when Madan Mohan would, like there are many, at least 2 recorded instances after being worshipped by Shatrughna in Mathura itself, how Madan Mohan just, he disappeared actually. Madan Mohan disappeared after that. And then he reappeared again in this particular kingdom when he was worshipped by this particular princess. And then he again disappeared after that. And then he reappeared again during Chaubeji's pastime, which is very recently with Sanatan Goswami Prad. So that is just, recently, like 500 years ago, Madan Mohan reappeared again. So what Maharaj explained, first he said that this is all transcendental, so we can't really put a finger to it, that, what happened and what happened not. But rather Maharaj said that during the end of Dwapar Yuga, when the beginning of Kali Yuga, 5,000 years ago, at that time when Maharaj Bajranatha was carving these deities, the grandson of Krishna, great-grandson of Krishna, when he was doing that, that is the same deity, when he was, remember when he was disappearing and then appearing again, disappearing, appearing again. So that is how it is, that, when he appeared again, it was the one that was carved by Maharaj Bajranatha. So like that. So that is also a fact. It's not wrong. It is a fact. But Maharaj did not really give that much importance while he was narrating the story of Madan Mohan. He did not give that. I mean, he didn't even talk about that particular pastime of him being carved by the grandson of Krishna. But yeah, so that's what it is.
Thank you, Mataji.
But the same question was asked to him, so I hope it clarifies.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Bhakti Sangha group is like allowing us to read so many things that it just adds on to so much of reading. Thank you, Mataji, for clearing this. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Does anybody have any question?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji, and for explaining the educate. Mostly when you go to, for myself, we just sometimes I just look at the deities, don't course follow the educate from the lotus feet and all the how he is wearing the ankle with, and these things I don't follow sometimes. Sometimes I just do the lotus feet and slowly I go to the head. Sometimes I don't follow. But when you were explaining, it's completely is so transcendental. I was remembering the one question also, and I have a question regarding this. One Mataji, Guru Maharaj's class, one Vijay Radha Mataji was asking sometime we don't feel Krishna's deities, just as she was telling Mahaprabhu's, Gauranga Mahaprabhu's deities is we don't feel like deities as his transcendental form is totally different, but deities form we don't feel that much of attractive. And Guru Maharaj was answering, that's why sometimes we should not see the deity long time or like that. Mataji, why we cannot see that way? But when you were explaining, I can feel you were feeling that transcendental vision of deities, how he looked like. But it's difficult right now for my vision to see. But why we cannot see long time, Mataji?
That context that Srila Jayapataka Maharaj was saying is that, sometimes when we see, it's a very contextual thing. It doesn't mean that we should not see the deity for very long. It definitely does not mean that, and that's definitely not what he meant actually. But what he really means is that, when we are seeing the deity and when we are doing other things while seeing the deity, that is not proper. Like sometimes we are, so we are minimizing the importance of the deity, basically, So if that is the mood with which we are seeing the deity, then it's better that we, like even about staying in the holy dham. Srila Prabhupada said that we should not stay in any holy dham for more than 3 days. Why is this said? The more we stay, the better it is for us. But in the initial stages, the reason why it is said is that we should be very careful. And because of our contaminated state that we are in, we tend to commit offenses. We tend to compare the holy dham to be a mundane place. Oh, look, there's so much dirt here. Oh, look, this is there. Oh, look, we start comparing. That is how our mind is. And that is when we start committing offenses. So rather than staying in the dham giving a good benefit, it gives a repercussion. It is not good. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada also said, and our acharyas say that if we are in that consciousness, then it's better for us not to stay in the holy dham for more than 3 days. Similarly, when we are taking darshan of the deities, when we are looking at the deity, and if we are saying, oh, Krishna, today you're wearing a pink color dhoti. Oh, what about my sari? I also have a similar sari that looks like this. Oh, look at Radharani's jewelry. How would, so mind tends to, because our mind is contaminated, our mind is not at that level that we can relish each and every moment that we stand in front of the deity and, see the deity with that kind of intense love. because our mind is so contaminated, therefore we should not see the deity for too long, so that we don't commit offenses. So it's not that we should not see the deity for too long, but we should be very careful that if we are seeing the deity for too long, then we should be careful that we don't commit any offenses. Does that make sense?
Yes, Mataji. Also, Guru Maharaj was telling deities, because we try to make the deities as much possible as beautiful, but compared to how Krishna look like, and then deities form as more better than what we see. He was telling, but I know that because who is advanced in devotion, devotees, they can see the Krishna as he is in the deity form. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Krishna, Kalasudha Mataji, Koti Dandavat Pranam. I always think why I am not in India, in Shri Radha Gopinath temple. But today it's clear that Mataji, I always think that when my two daughters will marry, and I will again stay in Shri Ram Vrindavan Dham and Shri Mayapur Dham. But today you explained that wherever you stay, the mood should be there, so that we should not think that I am staying in abroad and that is Narka and India is a Varga, or like the home. Those who are very sincere, they are staying in India, and I am very fallen soul. That's why I am staying in abroad. Mataji, thank you very much. How nicely narrating the story that we are not qualified, but still we feel the Leela because you are so sincere in the Bhakti. Mataji, pray for us. Gurudev ki jai. Can you sing little bit Gopi Gita for us?
Definitely. Thank you so much for sharing your heartfelt realizations, Mataji. It's very precious. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will definitely honor your request if there's any more questions.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. The class was so beautiful, wonderful, Mataji. Mataji, I have a question. Whenever I listen the Chaitanya Charitamrta pastimes, what Guru Maharaj was telling, and whenever I read, in that lot of time we see like Advaita Chandraprabhu was rolling on the ground, and all the devotees, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sometimes he rolls on the ground, and Nityananda Mahaprabhu also in a static mood, he rolls on the ground. So sometimes I feel like why they are rolling on the ground. I'm sorry if I am talking wrong, Mataji, please forgive me. But all the time, I think that why they are rolling on the ground. How we need to understand that, Mataji?
Oh, why they are rolling on the ground? Okay. Well, you see, what happens is that when they did not just roll on the ground, they did many more things. Actually, if you read in detail, it is explained that the manifestation of ecstatic symptoms is that they would roll on the ground, they would jump on top of the trees, they would tear apart each other's hair, they would their hair on their own bodies would stand up like kadamba flowers. And then their Mahaprabhu's body would become so hot in ecstatic love, in emotional ecstatic love of God, that Mahaprabhu would melt stones. If his body was placed on the stone would melt. That was how heated Mahaprabhu's body would become in pure love of Krishna. So that proof is there in Alarnath, how we can see the engraving of Lord Chaitanya's entire body when he fell down in Dandavat Pranams in front of Alarnath. That stone is still there where Mahaprabhu's body is being engraved. You can see it. So Mahaprabhu's body could melt stones. So when they are rolling on the ground, because it is said that the holy dham, is the Bhaktapada Renu, So Bhakta Pada Jal, Bhakta Pada Renu, Bhakta Uchishta. These three. Bhakta Pada Jal means the water that has washed the lotus feet of the devotees. Bhakta Pada Renu means the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. And Bhakta Uchishta means the remnants from the plate of Mahaprasad of a pure devotee. Ei Bhaktir Teen Ball. These are the three great strengths of our devotional service. If we want to strengthen our devotional service, we should drench ourselves in these three. That we should look for opportunities where we can take Mahaprasad from a senior devotee with their permission. Then we should take the dust of the lotus feet of the devotee on our heads, and we should drink the water that has washed the lotus feet of the devotee, of senior devotees. So Bhakta Pada Jal, Bhakta Pada Renu, and Bhakta Uchishta. So when devotees are dancing in Kirtan, so that time all the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees are there in the ground. No? So when the devotees are rolling on that same ground, then all of the dust of the devotees' lotus feet is coming all over the body of the devotees. They are getting bathed in the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. And the reason why they do that is because Krishna or Mahaprabhu has walked those same grounds. And when Mahaprabhu has walked the same ground, when Krishna has walked the same ground, devotees today still we do that. We roll on the ground so that we get the dust of that, not only of Vaishnavas today, but Vaishnavas and Krishna from before. And Krishna himself did this. Mahaprabhu himself did this. Advaita Gosai himself did this because they wanted to get the dust of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. So that's why they do this. It's a sign of ecstatic emotional love of God. Does that answer your question?
Hari Bol, so nice, Mataji, wonderful. I was thinking I'm asking a silly question, but so you explained very nicely, Mataji, that Bhakta Pada Renu and Bhakta Pada Uttishta. Very nice, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Bhakta Pada Renu, Bhakta Pada Jal, and Bhakta Uchishta.
Uttishta, yes, Mataji. I have it here.
Bhakta Uchishta. Thank you so much, dear Keshavi. No question is ever silly. They have very deep meanings, and I'm really, really glad that you asked this question. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
If I'll be able to sing properly, but just to honor your request, Mataji, here it is. I'll sing one of my favorite verses from the Gopi Gita. Pranata Dehinam Papakarshanam Rinacharanogam Sriniketanam Pranarpitam Te Padambujam Rinukuche Shuna Grindhirichayam.